simply as a currency substitute.
So we will show you two pictures. So they may be in around June or
Fundamentals in general. So blockchain.
Alright, thank you, Anthony.
All the problems that it intends to address, and
by the way, thank you
potential
to Henry of
benefits.
Features
So
for supporting the Satoshis for our trivia. Ayun. So, ayun, welcome everyone to the BitPinas Webcast, where we interview the people who move the cryptocurrency industry forward here in the Philippines and internationally. No? Ang aming intro video ay produced by BitShares Labs, as always, which helps businesses establish their digital presence online. No? To know more about them, go to bitshareslabs.com or their Facebook page. Alright? So, ito ang ating 42nd episode ng BitPinas Webcast, at nagsimula tayo ng 2017 and we have been doing this webcast since 2021. So maraming salamat sa patuloy na sumusuporta. Medyo outdated na ito. We now have 71,000 followers, no, on our Facebook page. So maraming salamat sa laging nanonood ng ating webcast, lahat ng mga nagbabasa ng ating articles, no, ating website araw-araw. So right. So 4 na winners na makasagot ng tama sa ating trivia Q&A ay pwedeng manalo ng 500 pesos worth of HBARS via PDAX, no? May 4 na mananalo via the trivia Q&A. May 3 namang commenters na mananalo din ng same amount as long as you are participating in the comment section with the hashtag BitPinas. That means kapag may hashtag BitPinas, ibig sabihin gusto nyo manalo. And then finally, meron tayong AMA mamaya with Hedera Hashgraph, with HBARS Foundation, kapag prepare niyo inyong mga questions, and then kapag everyone who will ask a question will get a chance to win the same amount of HBARS, no, as long as you have the hashtag BitPinas. All right? At kanina kakapasok na balita, everyone na mananalo ay padadala ng mga chocolate bars ng PDAX, no? So HBARS, chocolate bars, meron atang may connection ito mamaya. I think our guest will mention it during the webcast. All right? So we encourage everyone to participate deeply in our comment section. Kung may nakita kayo mga nagtatanong, kayo na mismo sumagot para magpatuloy lang yung mga discussion. So tandaan nyo, yung mga winners, we will choose them from those who are engaging more and positively dito sa ating webcast. All right? So again, thank you to BitShares Labs, our foremost sponsor for this webcast, and then thank you to PDAX who supports this particular webcast. So lumalaki na yung webcast natin, guys, and meron ng mga gustong sumuporta. So congratulations sa ating lahat. All right? So our topic tonight will revolve around one single blockchain, no, Hedera. Recently listed by PDAX and GCrypto, Hedera has been on the news lately via its partnerships with more projects and organizations, and which we'll be discussing more later. No? So sa webcast na ito, makakasama natin si Paolo Narciso, ang Head of Consumer Experience on PDAX. Will also be a co-host of sorts dito sa ating sa ating webcast. And then we will also have Luis Buenaventura, the Head of GCrypto at Gcash. No, who will also act as also guest and also as co-host ito during the AMA. All right, and then finally, our guest for tonight is Sabrina Tachdjian, Head of Fintech and Payments Fund at the HBARS Foundation. So we are going to bring them on stage later. So but first, we just want to bring up Sheila for the weekly crypto news recap. Sheila.
Right, so good evening, everyone. GM. I'm sure you guys are more than okay with the recent crypto surges and, of course, with Bitcoin in the more than 60K range. And since I'm here, Sheila Bertillo, BitPinas writer, it is now time for our weekly news recap where we inform you of the top stories from last week. So today's webcast is brought to you by licensed crypto exchange Philippine Digital Asset Exchange, or PDAX, which supported the webcast tonight. So yeah, let us start this month's first recap. So for our initial news, focusing on the surge in cryptocurrency prices, it was evident last week that Memecoin spearheaded the rally. So the year-to-date returns for several popular meme coins showcased substantial gains. Dog Whiff Hat or Whiff lead the pack with an impressive 6,843% return in the last 60 days, followed by Pepe at 348%, Turbo at 190%, Bonk at 134%, Shiba Inu at 110%, Dogecoin at 73%, and Wencoin at 72%. So for those who are unfamiliar, meme coins are cryptocurrencies that derive their value and popularity primarily from internet memes and social media trends rather than traditional fundamental factors such as utility or technology. Now, these coins often feature humorous or satirical themes, and typically they are created as parody or a joke within the cryptocurrency community. Now, for our next news, as we have tackled in the previous webcast, airdrops have become a meta in the space where several investors have earned significant gains. Now, accordingly, recent data shows that the Philippines emerged as a leading nation in player engagement with the Web3 game Pixels, which is, if you guys can remember, recently executed a substantial airdrop targeting its players and stakers in the Ronin blockchain. Now, Filipinos, including members of guilds such as Guild Games or YGG, are noted to have actively participated in Pixels. Even Luke Barwikowski, the founder of Pixels, even shared a graphic indicating the increase of Filipino users, particularly among Ronin stakers claiming airdrops on the Pixel website. Yeah, it's just there. Okay, so for our last news, it was noted that after NVIDIA's strong earnings announcement, AI crypto tokens have surged in value. Now, to elaborate, NVIDIA exceeded fourth-quarter expectations, reporting earnings per share of $5.16 and revenue of $22.1 billion, surpassing analyst estimates. Now, this news boosted both equity markets and AI-related tokens. Tokens such as Singularity Net rose over 20%, Fetch AI went up to over 10%, and Render at 8%. Now, overall, the market cap for AI tokens surpassed 16.5 billion. Now, guys, just a refresher, AI tokens, also known as artificial intelligence tokens, are a type of cryptocurrency that are associated with projects or platforms focused on AI technology. Now, these tokens may be used within AI ecosystems to facilitate transactions, access services, or incentivize participation. Consequently, projects in the AI space are often utilized. Again, consequently, projects in the AI space often utilize blockchain technology to create decentralized networks for AI development, data sharing, or AI-powered applications. All right, so yeah, that's it for the highlights of last week's news. Again, this is BitPinas writer Sheila Bertillo. Have a great night, everyone, and I'll see you in the next webcast. Bye.
All right, thank you, Sheila. No, we cannot start the webcast without discussing what happened in the crypto market. no, in the last 24 hours. No, joining us right now is Paolo Narciso of PDAX and Luis Buenaventura of GCrypto. The two of them will also be my guest and co-host for this webcast, no, around later. So maybe we can bring them up now on the stage. Yes, ayun.
Hello. Good
All
evening,
right. So
everybody.
Yes.
Hey,
GM.
hey, Luis.
GM,
BitPinas.
yeah, thank you, Pao and and Luis for joining us tonight, no. So I guess my first question to both of you, no. So ano bang nangyari? Like aren't we supposed to mag all-time high and dire-diretso na? So what happened with the market last night? Maybe we start with Luis.
Well, I mean, I guess you could say that we were very excited to try to test whether or not we had enough momentum to actually break the all-time high, which was officially $69,045. We did break it for about 1 minute. And it kind of depends on which exchange you were looking at. Though. So we broke it. I think we ended at about 69.70 or something like that. So a little bit over, but it could unfortunately not maintain it. And it was in trading jargon we call this a rejection. No, so it hit the all-time high, and then instead of crashing through it, it kind of bounced back down. And I think, as far as we can tell, no, it was all the way down to as much as $59,000. So very, very big drop. This was happening about 4 a.m. And I remember, so I was in a couple of trading chats. I was asleep, no? The entire time I was fast asleep. I was dreaming about $75,000, I guess. And all of the traders, these are Pinoys, no? So they're in our time zone. They were all still awake, trading at 4 in the morning, and basically shorting the drop. So I imagine they probably made quite a lot of money. And yeah, I'm my optimism is still there. I think if we want to continue this conversation, we can talk about the current price now. No? And I'm completely optimistic that we will break that all-time high. If not tonight, sometime in the next couple of days.
It's gonna happen.
All right.
Just a matter of when.
Yeah. So I think one of my siguro unahin ko na tong question ko sa inyong dalawa, no. So I guess katuwaan lang naman to sa ating audience. This is not financial advice, no. Anong tingin
Oh,
yung
yeah.
price ng Bitcoin before the day ends, no? Siguro back 11:59 PM. So again sa ating viewers, ano lang to, this is just for fun. Do not take this advice basta gano, do not take action or whatever. Pero what do you think will be the price of Bitcoin before the day ends here in Manila, in our time zone? Paolo.
I have no idea what the price is going to be at the end of the day. If you happen to know, I'd really like a look into that crystal ball because wow, no one can really see the future. But definitely the price action in Bitcoin and all the other altcoin markets has been thriving in the last couple of weeks, which we've been all witnessing. I'm sure everybody here in the BitPinas cast has been tracking that. And yeah, it's very exciting. I think that it's very, very exciting. Good times we're in right now.
Yeah, thank you Pao. And nakalimutan ko mga exchanges kayo. Pero yun, thank you so much for those, no. So our next news is about the meme coin rally naman, no. Dogecoin 70%, Shiba Inu 200%, Pepe 500%. So meron kaming meme ditong itong nakarang araw wherein asan na yung meme natin? Ayan. Asan na? Ayan. So parang actually the meme here is about yung XRP kasi from 0.60, no, shoutout sa XRP Army, umakit na siya to 0.65, no. Finally gumalaw siya, no, after the last 12 months. Pero sa gilid nandoon si Pepe, which is actually ang diyan is parang Pepe's just, laughing for their 10%, 20% gains because Pepe itself gained around 500%. So isn't this supposed to happen? Diba in previous market cycles, Luis, the meme coin rally happened after Bitcoin rally, major altcoin, Ethereum, Solana rally, and then ito na mga more exotic coins, no? And then finally the meme coins. Bakit parang nauna yung meme coin rally right now, Luis, kaya?
Actually, if you think about it, it's not just the meme coins. No, this entire rally is kind of baliktad. Parang we're rallying before the halving, and historically that's never happened before. The pump usually happens many months after the halving itself. And the reason for that is because the halving is a supply shock, meaning that bababa yung supply and it will shock the system. But this is the first time that there has also been a demand shock. This is coming from the Bitcoin ETFs, no? So the Bitcoins that are being traded on the US stock market. They are causing two types of shocks happening at the same time. So the demand shock and then the supply shock. And because of that, everything is way earlier than we expected. The Bitcoin rally is way earlier. And then a lot of the major coins, except for Ethereum, I think Ethereum, medyo humahabol naman siya kahit papaano. But most of the other major coins have actually been kind of stagnant. And possibly the reason for that is because most of the energy is with Bitcoin right now. This is kind of the new capital that's coming into the space. Meanwhile, the people who already were trading crypto, they're moving all of their stuff into the memes because they know that during any kind of rally, the memes will usually move naman kahit paano, a little bit, no? And it doesn't take a lot. The thing about meme coins is it doesn't take a lot to spark a rally within them. And I think based on your list of coins that you just showed, there are no cats. It's all dogs.
I do wonder about
It's all dogs and then one frog. So I guess the lesson of this season is don't bet on the cats. The cat
Oh
coins.
no. I just
Oh
have
no,
a
daw sabi
particular.
ni Paolo.
I just happen to like cats. That's not again not financial advice. It's just I happen to have two. But yeah,
I'm
the
not
meme coin
Rishi, but
rally.
still, I guess. I'm a dog guy.
But yeah, the meme coin rally is definitely. I mean, I think definitely powered by the fact that Bitcoin price action is so high. So a lot of people just getting excited about the crypto space in general, and I think that like you see the meme coins rally when their communities get strong. So I'm sure it's not just price action that people are looking for, but they're rallying around the lols, frankly, that they're not just it's not just the money that's moving it, but it's just the general interest in the crypto space again. Um, I actually want to say that both like two of those meme coins. I wonder if Solana is a meme coin when you get right down to it, considering it's a pretty strong layer one. But Doge in particular is such an interesting meme because that keeps coming back. That was actually one of the first coins I bought like years ago, and that was because it came to my attention because like Reddit was using Dogecoin as a way to tip people, and they like sponsored like a NASCAR race car way back. So very early in the meme coin space, Doge, I would say maybe the first meme coin. But it's really fun to see these kinds of like memes take off in the crypto space, not just for the money, but just as a reminder that like the crypto space doesn't always have to take itself so seriously, and that's kind of what's fun about it. You, dog with hat suddenly jumps up 200% because it's a dog.
Yeah, another
With a
dog
hat.
game. See, it's the
Yeah.
dogs. It's the dogs that
It's
are
the
driving
dogs.
the rally.
The cats are too moody for it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. No, so
Un-
before we end this dog and cat segment, no, so go we are at the a very volatile stage in the market cycle. Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is really an advice na no, or something, but maybe something that you can say to our audience right now about the market situation. What do you think they should do or what they should not do? Any takeaway lang on this. Siguro very quickly, and then we move to our next we start with with Paolo.
I just want to say that historical movements is not indicative of future movements. I think that's the best like tip I could give. So if you're going to put money into the market at all, be sure to be vigilant and understand what you're doing before you do so. Don't bet the house, guys. That's it.
All right,
Yeah,
thank
that's
you,
good
Paolo
advice.
and Luis.
Mine is it's okay to take profit. A lot of times, people will, kind of ride a position, especially if we're talking about futures, no, where you fall in love with that nice green number in your portfolio, and you want to wake up every morning to see that number getting a little bit bigger, right? And you fall in love with it, and you don't want to put a, kind of a take profit or a stop loss that would possibly prevent you from continuing to go up. and I think it's okay to take profit. So last night, I had an open long position on Bitcoin, and like honestly, it was not a huge amount of money. I just did it because it's always fun to be part of the wave. Like I'm a long-term holder because I've already got a lot of Bitcoin for real, but like I wanted to play around last night with this trend. So what I did was, before I went to bed, I had a stop loss at about $68,000. So kind of even if the price kind of started to hit 69 and so on, when it dropped, my stop loss still allowed me to make some money. Right? It was still a positive stop loss. So I woke up the next morning and I was like, well, okay, I didn't make a huge amount of money. I didn't make it all the way up to 69,000, but at least I got away with whatever that profit was. It was like just small amount, but it was still profitable. So I think that's the kind of the way that you want to protect yourself. Just understand that you can't win all the time, but you can at least get away with something. And especially if you're the sort of person who needs to sleep at night, just put a stop loss on your orders. That's it. That's a pretty surefire way to protect your bank.
All right. Maraming salamat, Luis and Paolo, for those excellent advice. Don't bet on the house. Make sure to take some profits along the way. So yeah, for those who just arrived, you are watching the BitPinas webcast, our Hedera AMA. We are interviewing people like Luis, like Paolo, like Sabrina, who moved our industry forward. Shout out to our audience sa ating BitPinas Nation. Ayan, kung dapat yun yung name natin ngayon. Nanonood right now sa atin sa stream, si Marlon Saluntao, Joshua Santa Ana, Henry James Banayat, Ellie Besislao Arnel, Paraguison, Kit Jorbina, Patrick GCE, Meg Amat, and Jan Palse, Reno Ramirez, Vincent Adversario, Jella, okay, Brian Domingo, thank you. Yun yung name na nakalagay, So thank you, maraming salamat sa inyong panonood. Huwag kalimutan, pwede kayo manalo na 500 pesos worth of HBARS mula sa PDAX, Iba-iba yung mechanics, ilalagay natin sa comment section ngayon. Alright? So kakatapos lang ng ating atong weekly recap about Bitcoin, about meme coins, and also yung weekly crypto news recap ni Sheila, And joining us after this break is we will be joined by Sabrina Tachdjian of the HBARS Foundation to discuss our third topic for tonight, which is first about AI topics, AI token, AI rally. And then later, myself, Luis, and Paolo, together with Sabrina, will discuss the developments about Hedera and the HBARS Foundation. So remember, guys, for those who would want to win the 500 PHP for the comments and the questions, prepare your questions na, because that is where we will choose some of the winners. All right? Use the hashtag BitPinas. Okay. Ayan. Atin muna panoorin ng ilang paalala from our supporters who made this webcast possible all throughout the months. Okay? Let's start with play.
Welcome to BitPinas.
Alright. Shout out do sa mga nandun, mga nandun sa ano no sa ating video produced by Blink and then one of them is Luis ka nandito sa atin sa ating guest right now sa ating webcast. So one of the biggest non-crypto but somehow crypto related news in the last few weeks is about Nvidia. No? So mga may Windows of course alam niyo the Nvidia stock price jumped 29% nitong February no after strong revenue report of $22 billion, no? 22 billion. Surpassing expectations attributed, of course, to the increased hype and interest around AI. Siguro, if you know about NVIDIA, they are the primary manufacturer ng mga chips that are essential for training and operating AI systems. So joining us tonight, let's bring back again Luis from GCrypto and Paolo from PDAX. Joining us here is Sabrina Tachdjian, the head of Fintech and Payments at the HBARS Foundation. So hi Sabrina, welcome to BitPinas Webcast.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Very happy to be here tonight.
All right. So maybe we start this particular segment of our show. If you can please introduce yourself, let us know more about you and how you got started in crypto and in Hedera. And siguro and then lastly, what is your role in the HBAR Foundation, Sab?
Sure. So I've been in the blockchain space since 2018. I first came in from an investment angle. I was working at Line, which you may be familiar with. It's a messaging app. And I was leading the blockchain investments there for about 3 years. And I just happened to have some HBAR in our portfolio along with other infrastructure related coins. And I was quite impressed by the technology itself. At the time, it was called Hashgraph. And then kind of naturally migrated over to Hedera, and then the HBAR Foundation was created. And then my role changed a little bit from being a regional focused role in Asia Pacific to now leading the fintech and payments vertical. So I help develop the ecosystem in those areas, supporting applications like CBDCs, stablecoins, real-world asset tokenization, pretty much anything that's an intersection between traditional finance and blockchain.
All right. Thank you, Sab, for your introduction, and I hope the audience gets that because one of those things will be part of our trivia Q&A. All right, later. So, Sab, your opinion on our earlier news recap about AI, AI crypto tokens and even non-crypto projects with just very small correlation to AI have all risen in value. They have all increased in value. For example, for crypto, there's WorldCoin. No association at all, of course, but Sam Altman is the founder, right? Following the NVIDIA news. So, Sab, and perhaps in the view of Hedera, why do you think this is the case? Why is this happening?
So, I mean, so it's interesting that the AI coins are not necessarily correlated to AI. That reminds me of a few years ago, like one bull market ago, when some companies in the U.S. stock market were renaming themselves. Like there was one called Long Island Blockchain or something, and then the stock just went up because they added blockchain to their name, but they weren't doing anything blockchain related. I mean, I honestly think that a lot of the meme coins and all that stuff, it's very much for entertainment purposes, and it just it's social currency in a way, an interesting social experiment. But I would say deeper than that, there is a very good complementarity between blockchain and AI. Like those are two very transformational technologies. Of course, like AI has been really front and center, changing our lives, and now everybody's probably using ChatGPT on a daily basis. But as every new technology comes around, there's always some loose ends, and especially for AI, it's about how the code and the data are handled. And I think there's a really good opportunity for blockchain to kind of be a powerful tool to fill in the gaps. So I think those, although they are both like very horizontal technologies that can be applied to many different industries, you can actually stack those layers on top of each other. You would come in with raw data. You can provide the integrity layer using blockchain. You can also provide the integrity of the AI model itself. using blockchain as well. So they work very much and then we're only beginning to see those types of use cases. So to give you some example, on Hedera, there's already one. It's called Equity Lab. They're developing a tool for responsible AI because everybody's like, well, where's my data going? Is my model been tweaked? So they use AI to create the validated snapshots of their models, and then it ensures the compliance across the product lifecycle. And they've applied that to a tool called Climate GPT, which is a large language model specialized for climate research. So just one example out of many, but I think we're going to be seeing a lot of this blockchain/AI combination, like beyond those funny AI coins, but into real applications.
All right, thank you, Seb. No, actually, yesterday I was in this particular Microsoft presentation with our friend Paul. No, he was demoing Copilot, and he did this particular Copilot software or whatever that was like a BitPinas bot, wherein he will ask any question that is from the BitPinas like database, and I'm not sure if I'm happy with that because I would love the page views, no? But definitely that is something that is really happening right now, no. And I also remember one particular thing when Savio mentioned some blockchains or some companies before they are renaming themselves to blockchain, no, like the Long Island one that you mentioned. And I vividly remember one of these tweets wherein I'm sure everyone here knows this particular project called Eigenlayer. Maybe if they change their name to AI Gen Layer, maybe they will have more more value. So there was this particular discussion on Twitter. So Luis and Pao, do you think this will continue the interest increasing interest in AI, and of course the AI tokens in particular? Luis, we can start with you.
Yeah. Sorry. By the way, is my audio better? Like I've switched microphones now. Is that okay? All right. So I think that the reason why the AI tokens went up was not necessarily just because it wasn't like random. No, it actually says a lot about how the rest of the world wants to invest in AI technologies, but the problem is there's no direct way for us to invest in OpenAI, for example, or we can't even really invest in Google, no, which has a competing AI product. As Filipinos, were kind of shut out from directly investing in these stocks because they're kind of open only to people in those kinds of markets. So what we do instead is we just look for anything that looks like it's AI related. In the case of WorldCoin, it's not entirely unrelated, by the way. So the reason why Sam Altman's actually one of the founders is because one of the ideas behind WorldCoin is that if you can properly identify the personhood of people on the internet, then you can now do things like universal basic income that can only really be distributed through the blockchain in in a way that is efficient, because you would never be able to use fiat for something as global as that. So the idea is that and Sam Altman is a big believer in universal basic income because he actually believes that AI will eventually cause a lot of jobs to disappear. No? And I think we're already kind of seeing that here in the Philippines with a lot of kind of the more tedious jobs that used to be outsourced over here. Quite a few of them are just being replaced entirely by ChatGPT or whatever that the next version of those of AI bots are. So there is some kind of so I can't tell you if UBI and WorldCoin will eventually kind of do the thing that they promise, but there is a narrative thread there that kind of binds these two together. In the case of things like the render token, for example, so that's an example of parang being able to rent out large computer networks in a decentralized way that may or may not be used for the computation of AI problems. So it is kind of related naman. It's not entirely, just like random stuff. It is, like AGIX is a marketplace of AI products. That's the reason why their token went up, and AGIX is co-founded by Ben Goertzel, who is the guy who first coined the term artificial general intelligence. So, there are like actual kind of very, very distinct narrative threads throughout a lot of the products that you mentioned. And yes, I don't think that's going to go away. for as long as we think that AI is going to be a thing, we're probably going to see a lot of people investing in AI tokens because, again, there's no direct way for you to, as a Filipino, how do I bet on Microsoft or Google other than paying for their products? I can't buy the stock directly.
All right, thank you, Luis. No, by the way, someone mentioned Bard. I'm not sure if you guys or companies are partner with with Google, but I just remember vividly. Yesterday I was trying Gemini, and I asked it a question, and it doesn't want to answer the question. like, like please
What
figure it
question
out
was that,
yourself.
Mike?
But yeah, that's what
Some of those
happened
questions are like,
yesterday.
not politically correct. So
Yes. So yeah, we are going to end this AI segment now. Paolo, what are your thoughts on the question? And I don't know if you can divulge or something, but maybe there be AI on PDAX at some point or something.
I can't speak about AI and PDAX in specific, but I do think that Luis has the right of it. That as Filipinos, it's very difficult for us to invest in these larger kinds of movements that are happening. So when we see these AI coins coming up, the impression that people get is that they can actually invest in these companies or invest in these technologies and ride that wave of growth, so to speak. But also, like harkening back to what Sabrina said about now being sort of that era of AI and blockchain happening at the same time. I don't think that's a coincidence. I mean, AI, machine learning, like these are all models that people have been working on for decades, right? Like this isn't actually something new. It's just that the form that it's coming in now is starting to hit a point where it's something that the common man can understand. I was listening to another podcast a few weeks ago about how like we've been using these machine learning models, these AI models to like demo how proteins and viruses would interact, trying to find different kinds of medicines. And now that these machine models can start talking to you, that's when everybody suddenly gets super excited about it, because suddenly it's something that the common man can actually have access to. And like I think that if you look on the other side of it, when you talk about like blockchain and these decentralized networks, this is also something that is democratizing what kind of access people have to cutting edge technologies, right? So I think that both for blockchain and for AI, these are two things that are going to continue to develop. I definitely believe it's something that's going to continue to develop over the next decades. And trying to understand it and trying to understand it, how to utilize it for the best function, not just for profit, but also for the betterment of mankind, is in everybody's interests. So participating in and knowing how these things work and function within our lives, I think is going to be something that's very important for everybody to learn and understand. And just to touch on also what Luis said about these jobs going away, I don't think that's going to happen right away, but definitely we're going to see a transformation in the workforce. Like these tools are not replacing people just yet, I think, but they are changing the way that people work, and that's definitely fascinating. I
All
think
right,
that
very
particular
excellent. No?
conversation could go on another hour, though, so we can shelve that.
Yes, thank you, Pao. Thank you, Pao, for that. No? And that we end the AI discussion. And then later we were going to ask also Sab, where she mentioned earlier about the AI projects in Hedera. No? So yeah, we are now at the Hedera AMA segment with BitPinas, with Luis, with Paolo, with Sabrina. The community is encouraged to ask questions in the comment section. So which we can bring to our audience attention. And I see that we are increasing in number of viewers at the moment, and there are now a lot of questions, no? Shout out lang muna kina Ron Austria, Federico Di Maunahan, Marion Kenanyo, Melissa de Beralianes, Kevin Brocano, Shannon Rivera, and Samon Uyaan. So yeah, so ang daming questions na from our community. Maybe we can begin now with Sabrina Tachdjian of the HBAR Foundation. Maybe Sab, let us know first, I guess, for the community, what is Hedera? And I understand that before it was named Hedera Hashgraph, and then I think you mentioned to us privately that now it is now Hedera and no longer Hashgraph as part of it. No, so maybe we can start with that. What is Hedera, Sab?
Sure, sure. So, Hedera is it's a layer one protocol, right? Uh, It's actually a DLT, so decentralized ledger technology. I think if I had to distill it in just a few things that make Hedera different, is it's an enterprise grade infrastructure. It's very cheap to operate. It's very fast. It's scalable, and it's a public network, but with a permissioned model. It was founded by two former computer science professors in the U.S. Air Force who had really security in mind, and they were looking to solve the blockchain scalability issue. It was launched. The mainnet was launched in 2019. It's a very mature stack. It has a lot of real-world adoption. I just checked the transactions this morning where we're at to date. 43 billion transactions on the network. In terms of performance, this could go to 10,000 transactions per second. And a transaction takes on average like 3 to 5 seconds to complete. The governance model is quite unique. I mentioned it's permission. It's up to 39 global leading organizations that are governing the Hedera network. Right now, we have filled 32 seats out of this governing council, including, I think, a lot of names that you'll recognize: Google, IBM, LG Electronics. Recently, we brought in Hitachi, Mondelez. So, if you have ever had Oreos or Cadbury chocolate, this is them. And so a number of large organizations that came together to bring this technology to life. So they don't only operate the nodes, but they make some of the key decisions for the network. And many of them are actually building very exciting use cases on Hedera. There's a lot of, I would say, enterprise or compliance-friendly features. It also means they are user-friendly. Because you could do things like pausing transactions, freezing an account, wiping a balance. So if you have like fraud issues, like you'll be able to actually address that, which is typically not possible in blockchain. And at the core, you mentioned, what is the difference between Hedera and Hashgraph? So Hashgraph is the name of the consensus mechanism, which is quite unique because I mentioned, it's a decentralized ledger technology. I didn't use the word blockchain.
That's true.
Yeah, so with this, it has, I saw in some of the comments, someone is actually asking about how does the hash graph work. And so the data structure is very different from a blockchain. You don't have blocks. So that means in a block, you would group a bunch of transactions and then kind of sign them all in one go. We don't have that sequential limitation. It just, all the information is kind of shared all in parallel. So it's based on a gossip protocol. That means I will receive a message. Assuming I'm a node, I'm receiving a message. I'm going to hash and timestamp it, and then I'm going to send that message to Paolo and Luis, and then they will also hash and timestamp it, and then send it again to 2 more people, who send them again to a few more people. And this is how the information propagates. You don't need proof of work for this. It's just a very simple, elegant way to propagate the information. And one of the important also innovations is there is no leader node, so it's highly secure. You'd have to attack all the nodes at once if you wanted to compromise the network. There's actually an algorithm that's watching what's happening on the network, and as soon as a message has been seen by 2/3 of the nodes, it will actually automatically validate that transaction, and it's done. So it's actually quite simple. Hope I haven't lost you, and hope I've done a good job explaining it. But for that reason, it's very lightweight, and it's very fast, and also consumes very little energy. It's actually probably the greenest network out there in terms of energy consumption, and where whatever little energy is consumed is offset by carbon credits, so we're technically carbon negative.
All right, thank you, Sab, for the explanation about Hedera, and I'm happy that you mentioned the gossip protocol behind Hedera, because as Filipinos, we love gossips, but this is something that that was the first thing that came to mind when I first learned about Hedera back in, I think, 2019 or 2020. I guess one of the questions here from Sip, maybe we can start now with the questions. And also the same as of my questions here is maybe what real life challenges or problems is Hedera trying to solve? I think you mentioned this some earlier in passing, but maybe you can have more in detail. Or what makes it stand out among the blockchains that we have right now. And then after this question, maybe Luis can ask Sabrina and then Paolo to Sab. Right? So Sab to Sip.
So to answer the what makes Hedera stand out.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So I mean, of course, there's a technology we've already covered that is very differentiated. The governance also quite unique. Because you have a lot of transparency on what happens in those governing council meetings. I think the nature of our ecosystem is quite unique. As I think I alluded to earlier, there's a lot of real life use cases. So personally, I focus on like fintech and payments vertical. So I have a lot of examples in that area. So we support things like stable coins, central bank digital currencies, asset tokenization. So for stable coins, for example, we have a unique toolkit which is open source called the Stablecoin Studio, and that's been trialed and tested by a number of financial institutions, and also in the process of adoption by a number of issuers. We've done work in the international remittance space using that Stablecoin Studio. Like recently, last year, we actually showcased how if you're using Hedera, you can actually do a remittance in like just a few seconds for a few cents. I think it's quite relevant also to the BitPinas audience, because remittances is a big industry here. In terms of asset tokenization, it's RWA's real world asset is a big trend, right? Since maybe a year and a half ago or so, and so we've done things like money market tokenization of diamonds, tokenization of real estate. And then another area we're very strong is sustainability. We have another piece of open source infrastructure called Guardian, which is a tokenization engine. But as you know, sustainability, there's a lot of greenwashing, right, in those markets. And how can you be sure that the carbon credit that's being claimed on the registry, that the forest is still here, that how is that renewable energy? Where is it coming from? What Guardian does, it ingests all the IoT data, so satellite imagery, data coming from a solar panel or a wind turbine, brings everything on chain, so you can actually go back to that log, making sure that that information hasn't been tampered with. So it makes everything auditable, and then you can also input your policy, right, like a Vera or gold standard. And then the output is like you have a minted carbon credit on chain or renewable energy credit on chain that is kind of fully auditable, fully transparent. And as a result, it's actually worth more because a good quality carbon credit actually trades for a better price. So yeah, these are some of the, I would say, like the real world use cases that we have. And of course, in addition to that, we cover all the more crypto native end of the spectrum. So things like games, I know there are quite a few players in some P2E games. In the Philippines, there's one like fun one that's called Slime World that has a lot of users here. In the entertainment and sports space, Karate Combat, which is an up and coming martial arts league out of the United States, but they have fans globally, and Hedera is their go-to chain for the fan engagement. Upcoming games like the Doctor Who. If you watch the BBC, Doctor Who, there'll be a Worlds Apart game that's coming up with their IP. So, and of course, we also have like the more vanilla stuff like your DeFi, your dexes, and all that. But I think you can see like from this, there's really a wide breadth of use cases on Hedera that I think once you start digging, it's quite impressive.
All right, thank you so much, no, Sabrina. Very how is this very extensive mention or answer to Sip's question, no? And I think your answer has already shall I say answered all the other questions here also from Rap. From Ralph, we mentioned about Hashgraph, how is it different? This has been answered by Sabrina. And then there's also another one from Henry about the Hashgraph or the gossip protocol. This was already answered. No, thank you very much. Very extensive answer, Sab. Maybe Luis, do you have a question for Sab?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I should have maybe written it down because I'm not actually sure exactly how to say it. I guess. Um, so Paolo and I, we both work in exchanges that handle quite a lot of different protocols and tokens and coins, and usually one of the things that we like to be able to do, especially because we're talking to so many different people, we want to, well, like when we describe a token or coin, we have like a one sentence thing about it that that can you can kind of use it to grab people's attention, but also kind of very quickly differentiate what that token does better than perhaps any other token, right? So you can do it very easily with things like Bitcoin. You can just say, "Oh, this is the grandfather coin," right? Ethereum is the one that started smart contracting. BNB is BNB. Anyway, we don't have to go into that. But the point is that there's usually like a one-liner that can kind of very succinctly describe a thing. And I guess I don't know if you have anything like that. I realize that this is the kind of question that you might need some thought, that you might need to give some thought to.
Yeah,
But yeah,
we've used a few. I think the earlier one was the trust layer of the internet.
Okay.
And but I think we've added like so many more features to that. It's just beyond data integrity at this stage, at this juncture, because we now we've done a lot of things around tokenization, smart contracts, etc. We like to say it's enterprise grade, fast, fair, secure. I didn't touch upon the fairness of the network, but actually it's impossible to front run on Hedera. Like how on like some other networks, if you pay extra gas fee, you get prioritized.
Yep.
Hedera, it's all everything's timestamped, so it's just based on like chronological order. So fast, fair, secure. I mean, if I had to just kind of sum it up in more of a cheeky way, I would say it's the layer one that doesn't need a layer two.
Okay, so that's probably the most effective way to say it. Although I'm not sure you would make a lot of friends in other protocols if you introduce the project that way.
Between us.
It's a great tagline, though. You should run with that.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, thank you, Luis. No, and then we still have more questions from our audience, but perhaps Paolo can begin the next question.
Okay. For myself, I actually, when we first met with Hedera, I actually geeked out a little bit about the protocol, because I thought that the idea of creating a different kind of decentralized ledger was actually makes a lot of sense. It doesn't have to work in a very specific way for it to be a public ledger. And actually, what I got excited about was hearing about the Guardian protocol, because I have several friends who work within the renewables industry, and like understanding, being able to participate within global carbon credit markets is actually very challenging, because there are so many issues in terms of how you're able to validate the sources and how to access the markets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm actually I've said that to people in the last 10 minutes. But I guess just to touch on that is, I'd like to know, like, for you personally, like, if there's a particular project that you find really interesting that's happening on Hedera right now that you think people should hear about, whether it's for entertainment, or I'm sure I know you're involved with a whole number of things within the ecosystem that you probably can't talk about, but for the things that you can, or for the projects that you find particularly fascinating, maybe you can share something with us that we really should check out, whether it's solving a particular real world problem, or if it's something that's just really entertaining.
Sure. I mean, I think so. I'm fintech focused on the fintech vertical. So financial inclusion means it means a lot to me. It's one of the areas where I was excited supporting projects that focus on that. And since a lot of our audience is from the Philippines, I wanted to highlight a project that is building right now that will be operating in the Philippines. So they are called AidTech. It's essentially a wallet and decentralized ID infrastructure for mainly for climate relief, so disaster relief.
Oh.
Essentially helping folks in areas that have been hit to receive their subsidies, through stable coins and be able to actually spend that into fiat real. So without any without any issues in terms of the user experience, right? So yeah, they're working with the Save the Children. So they're currently building that solution for this project in the Philippines on Hedera.
Wow.
So I'm really looking forward to that one. We're also working with, so this is more of a B2B use case, but that's also a project that's preparing to enter the Philippines called FSCO. It's trade finance related, mainly for supporting the agricultural sector.
Oh.
Yeah, and then so helping farmers essentially. It's a platform helping farmers to get funding. They receive invoices, but they have to really produce either vegetables or cattle or whatever it is that they need to sell. They need to put a lot of resources upfront. So there's like that financing need, and they're a very sophisticated platform doing this using blockchain, using AI as well, to streamline all of the trade finance documents, put them on chain, manage the financing using DeFi primitives. Very interesting project that is up and coming, and that hopefully will be in the Philippines pretty soon.
That's pretty cool. I think both of those things are pretty relevant to the country as a whole. Like climate aid as well as the agri sector. These are two things that I think. Yeah, I'm definitely going to look into those things, and I'm sure it's relevant to the audience watching this right now. I'm looking forward to seeing how this FSCO rolls out. Again,
It's already live. It's just like they will have more use cases in the Philippines.
I see. Okay, interesting. Thank you for sharing, Sabrina.
Yeah, thank you, Sab. I think Henry here from our audience mentioned about this. No, it is the largest user of MasterCard co-Binance. Migrates to Hedera for real-world asset tokenization. So thank you, Henry, no, and thank you to our community for helping us here in our webcast. No, very helpful. No, thank you. And
Headline.
yeah, thank you, Henry. No, Sab, you mentioned earlier also about what is this Mondelez, the chocolates, and to our audience, that's the reason why the winners will also receive chocolates as prizes. No? So maybe can you talk about this one? I believe the name is Mondelez. The one that is about Cadbury, Toblerone. They have joined the Hedera Council. So maybe we can discuss about it. What is this Hedera Council? Who are parts of it? I think you mentioned also that in passing earlier, no, but maybe we can expound a bit more here.
Yeah, so the Hedera Governing Council is essentially this is the governance layer, but also they operate the nodes, right? Each of these companies actually runs a node on the Hedera network, so they kind of own the consensus operations, but they also gather on a regular basis to make decisions for the network. So they discuss important things like roadmap, like commercial prospects, like enterprise use cases, legal aspects, coin economics, you name it. So everything that is really important to the network. And those are transparent conversations. The minutes are posted on a regular basis from these conversations. It's a great forum also for these large enterprises to collaborate with each other. So, for example, I mentioned the international remittance use case that that we did like over last year, that was jointly done with Standard Bank. There was also some participation from, sorry, it was done by Shinhan Bank, which is on the council. There was some mentoring from Standard Bank, and there were other financial institutions that were not on council that came in. So it's nice to see these kind of collaborations happen. Of course, there's others that are just building interesting things. I would mention WorldPay. They're doing a proof of reserve. That was released last year on stablecoins, which is very important because stablecoins is such a key infrastructure in not only crypto markets but capital markets that are all coming on chain. We have EDF as well, the energy company that is building multiple use cases on Hedera. Recently, they did renewable energy certificates on chain out of their Singapore presence and their innovation lab. So it goes on and on. It's interesting. They're not only just there to make the decisions, but also they're using the technology and building on it. And so you were mentioning one of the more recent additions, Mondelez. They are working with a project called SKUX, which is essentially digitizing all the coupon infrastructure, putting this in a wallet, giving a lot more utility to the end consumer using those digital coupons. So it's a very interesting use case, very mass adoption focused use case.
All right, thank you so much. No, Sam, for those things. Now we know more about the Hedera Council. I think in our audience, someone was si Romel Habines Zerudo was asking about Atma.io, which I can check now is an API-based platform, no, that provides a set of developer modules to authenticate devices or products. Assuming this is now also with Hedera. I think this is the part of our conversation we're in here in the Philippines and SAP. There are of course users and people who are into crypto and all that. We also have a lot of startup founders, blockchain founders, people who are into development. So maybe you can also tell us if there are any like support from the Hedera, from the HBAR Foundation about maybe perhaps ecosystem grants or anything that can help people to develop on Hedera, Sab?
Yeah, absolutely. So the HBAR Foundation, we operate ecosystem grant program. So that's still active. So we support founders, from startups all the way to more mature companies. So there's grants, but there's also other tools. Of course, we follow our grantees across their building journey. We provide some advice. We set them up with developer advocates to, help them with, guide the architecture. We can set them up with system integrators if they don't have the development resources in-house. And as they get ready to announce their use case, we help amplify the message. We help connect them with other players in the ecosystem. Say they need a wallet or they need to list on a DEX or on a centralized exchange. We also, assist with that. So it's a pretty broad support that we provide. There's also Swirls Labs, which is essentially the core dev team of the protocol. Which does, of course, is in charge of the roadmap for Hedera, but also helps take care and nurture the developer community on Hedera. So recently, there's a free certification course, a Hedera developer course that came out. So if there's any devs out there, I would encourage them to go check it out and get a certificate. There's also hackathons, and all sorts of community-focused events. We usually also participate in conferences, so we're typically quite easy to find. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Sab, for that. No, and I'm happy to know that there are also ecosystem grants on the HBAR Foundation, but which maybe the founders here or who are in our audience can check out. No, and going back earlier, I think you mentioned about 8Tech and FSCO. So I think after this webcast, I would email you to let us know more about this, or maybe you can connect us. Maybe we can feature them also on BitPinas, as they are doing some very good work here in the country, and we want to feature those things here on our website and our webcast. All right, so yeah, one of my yeah, I have a lot of questions here, but we have already mentioned about the user journey, of course, on HBAR, on Hedera. Most of them will probably start by buying HBAR on GCrypto or on PDAX, no? But maybe Sab, after we have our HBAR on GCrypto, on PDAX, of course, I want to take them out to a wallet or something, no? So do maybe can you discuss that also? What are the wallets, or anything
Sure.
that is available where we can put our HBARs, Sab?
Ye- Of course, so some of the most popular Hedera native wallets are Hashback and Blade Wallet. Of course, if you have a MetaMask, for example, and you want to stick with that, there is a Snap add-on for Hedera, so you can also use MetaMask on the Hedera network. And then you can start having fun using some of the dexes, buying maybe other coins with your HBAR. So the most popular dex is it's called Saucer Swap. And then there's a few other also Haley Swap and such. And you, of course, you have other games, NFT marketplaces, a lot of the things that you would do, like in the Ethereum space. We tend to have a similar offering on the crypto native end of the spectrum. That you even have a meme coin, so like you can go all out. It's called Ralph, and it's been pumping quite a bit. Of course, none of that is financial advice, so you use
Just a
that for
fact.
entertainment purposes only.
Right. Thank you, Sab. No, I think on in our audience, no, Romel here is mentioning about Hashback. What is this, Saucer Swap and H Suite? No, products
H
on
speeds,
Hedera.
yeah, HeliSwap, Blade Wallet. Those are some of the key infrastructures that our community uses on Hedera.
All right. Thank you so much, no, Sab, for that. And shout out to everyone who are still here in our webcast. And up next, the thing that you are waiting for, of course, the trivia Q&A. Very then we also have a lot of questions, but I think many of these have been answered already by Sab, no? So shout out to the people who are still watching us here at the BitPinas webcast. Gemma, Lamis, William Marco Jr., Jeremiah T, Rap Rap Tuting, Armel Armstrong, RG Lumasa, Granny Ramido, Des Adeba, Anton Gayo. No, shout out to the BitPinas staff writers who are with me, no? So let me know the people who are here still with our webcast. So I hope we can now we should, yeah, there. Yan. So I hope everyone is ready for our trivia Q&A. So unfortunately, our trivia Q&A na si Master Lance is not with us tonight at meron siyang lakad. But we are giving away 500 pesos worth of HBAR to 4 winners. All right? So 4 winners, 500 pesos worth. Sabi ko ba 500 HBAR? Basta 500 pesos worth of HBAR each, no? 4 winners, no? For this one, for this set, 2. Dalawa yung mananalo for this one if you answer this correctly. No? So make sure that you are following the BitPinas Facebook page. You have shared this live stream, no, publicly. And remember that you must have a sharer badge and a follower badge. Kung wala naman kayong follower badge or sharer badge, we will still verify that you have actually shared the live stream and that you have followed BitPinas. Kasi may glitch si Facebook so i-verify namin sa inyo. Alright? So 500 pesos worth of HBAR if you answer correctly. Our first question. What is the native cryptocurrency of the Hedera network, known for its high-speed transactions and energy efficiency? Alright? What is the native crypto of the Hedera Hashgraph network, known for its high-speed transactions and energy efficiency? So, tignan natin kung may mga sumasagot sa atin. Alright. Yan. Okay. So, what is the native crypto? No, kanina pa namin pinag-usapan about this particular token, which is available on PDAX and GCrypto. No, if you want to buy it there, you can. And then, of course, if you want to take it out, kanina si Sab has mentioned some of the wallets that you can use, no? And even our shout out to Romel in the comment section, who was mentioning all the other wallets sa Hedera. All right. What is the native crypto of the Hedera Hashgraph network, known for its high speed transactions and energy efficiency? All right. Question number 2. Which foundation aims to accelerate the use of Hedera Hashgraph technology globally by supporting its ecosystem with grants and resources? All right. So, which foundation aims to accelerate the use of Hedera Hashgraph technology globally by supporting its ecosystem with grants and resources? So our guest, diba, si Sab is part of this particular organization. Okay, ayan, nakikita ko na yung mga sumasagot. Si Kent, si Maria Jasane, sino to, si Gavin, si Marlon, si Vincent, Jade, Barry. So thank you so much for being here in our webcast. Hanggang nandito pa rin kayo. And I think some of you are parang repeat viewers na rin, like kayo nandito sa atin sa webcast, no? So yeah, which foundation aims to accelerate the use of Hedera Hashgraph technology globally by supporting its ecosystem with grants and resources? All right, that's it for our first trivia Q&A segment. Tandaan, may isa pang Q&A segment after this. And then, again, thank you to PDAX for the HBARS. No, kapag di kayo nanalo, you can still win in the comment section basta nagpa-participate kayo. And those who have asked questions here in our webcast can also win, no, itong 500 worth of HBAR from PDAX. Just use the hashtag BitPinas, and then you must be following our page and have shared this live stream publicly. Okay, so now we want to go back to our guest and co-panelist, Paolo from PDAX, Paolo Narciso, Head of Consumer Experience at PDAX, and then Luis Buenaventura, Head of GCrypto at GCash, and then of course our special guest for tonight, Sabrina Tachdjian of the HBAR Foundation. Ayun, I just mentioned the answer to the question earlier, no? So, yeah. Okay. Ayun pala, tapos na, no? We have the timestamp here, no? So, we'll make sure of that. So, yeah, we are now in our last some few segments of our webcast. One of the questions here from, who's this? Okay, so one of the questions here is about to SAP will be about what are your future plans here in the Philippines? Like what can we expect from the HBAR Foundation on what will be your efforts here, maybe promotion, marketing, any other partnerships that you are going to have here in the country?
Yeah, we have some very good builders in the Philippines. So I mean, I've mentioned just a couple, but there's definitely some good projects. So I want to have more excuses to come visit. I know last year some of the folks from Hedera actually visited the Blockchain Week and created some really good connections. Definitely want to come and see the PDAX team. You guys have been wonderful, and I think and of course. GCrypto team, and looking forward to supporting the builders. I mean, I'm quite close. I'm in Singapore, so looking forward to supporting the builders more and supporting the community more. So I wanted to say, anyone, feel free to reach out. Happy to stay in touch to the audience. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. So but wait, we're not yet finished. I guess my question here, and then maybe after this, Luis, and then Paolo, your questions to SAP. No? One of the questions from Ralph is any upcoming developments and features in Hedera's roadmap that you can share with us. So maybe any other future partnerships that you can share. I think you have mentioned earlier some CBDC stablecoin things that you are also developing. Maybe you can share that here.
Yeah, so in terms of CBDCs, we have so one of our most active builders in the space. They're a company called Mtech, out of the United States, but they cover a number of central banks, especially in some emerging economies. So recently, they worked with the Central Bank of Ghana, supporting their CBDC sandbox. And what's interesting about their stack is it's API based. It's very open finance, focused. So like it was a hackathon actually that they were hosting on their platform before fintechs to actually build on top. So an interesting take, because I think for now, like CBDCs are still it's a very young industry, and a lot of people are thinking about how the CBDCs are going to integrate within the existing fintech ecosystem. So yeah, that's a very innovative way to look at it. So they're working with Bank of Ghana and other banks central banks in West Africa. They've also done some work with Haiti and other emerging economies. So it's interesting to see that CBDCs are actually kind of they're being leapfrogged out of fast-growing economies where maybe there is more of a need because the financial infrastructure is more young, and there's also maybe financial inclusion needs there.
All right, thank you so much, Seb. No, I'm glad that you mentioned CBDC. After this, I will share to you some BitPinas articles about the discussions here about CBDC. So, Luis, do you have a question to Seb?
I guess I'm just trying to get a sense of what the current Hedera like community looks like. Other than people that actually work for the Hedera Foundation, like who would you say we should be following on X, or I guess probably just X, right? That like that are I don't know, prominent members of the community that are worth following. Does anyone like?
Yeah, there's I don't know, maybe at least 20 or so folks who like I follow, who are really they're just living and breathing Hedera news, and like sometimes I learn things through them, even though I should probably find out first, right? So I would say if you had to follow just one, I would point out the HBAR bull, because pretty much everything you need to know that happened during the week is going to sum it up in like one video segment. And it's super engaging because he actually brings people, he brings the builders, and he does like quick interviews, and he also covers the market, but also whatever is being built that just came out, that's just right out of the oven. He's going to cover, and is very reactive. So I would definitely follow Brandon, the HBAR bull.
How do you spell it?
At HBAR bull. I think it's at HBAR bull, yeah, and on X.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
All right,
Also
thank you.
Zebzi at Zebzi, ZEPZI, who they both do also work with the foundation, but they were kind of in the community first, actually, and they actually amplify a lot of the new and interesting use cases.
All right, thank you, Sab. No, and Luis, I think one of the things that what is this? Because I also listen to podcasts, and I think the founder of Hedera, Limon, is very has a lot of interviews in podcasts. I can share also with our audience and to you guys here. No, um, uh, Henry and who are the others here? They're asking if there's an HBAR airdrop. No, airdrop is something that's really here in the community, and I think the airdrop here is the question. The people who are answering the questions correctly, and people who are participating in our comments and questions. That is the task of the airdrop of HBAR for tonight. No, again, thank you to PDAX for those HBARs. So yeah, Pao, your question to to Sab.
Actually, this is sort of a two-parter. When are you guys coming to the Philippines? How can we help you out? And what's your favorite beer?
So Philippines, I was actually planning to come earlier this year. So it's been pushed a bit. I would love for it to be in May. Keep giving me good excuses to visit.
Yeah. I think that, well, we're definitely happy to help you connect with communities out here. If you guys want to set something up, for to at least meet developers, people in space, and see what else is going on.
Definitely would love to.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And
Right, so
for the Twitter X personalities that you mentioned earlier, please, I'll ask for those links again later.
Sure, I'll send them to you.
Yeah, I think Henry here
Cool.
mentioned about the HBAR bull, what Sab was
There.
mentioning earlier. And then Aljon here mentioned that there was an airdrop of HBAR. I remember this now with PDAX where they have the campaign, the HBAR campaign at PDAX happened actually where the people who bought HBAR also got more HBAR from them. Okay, so yeah, we are not going to close this webcast without some price predictions, no, Sab. No, I'm not sure if you're at liberty, but of course, this is for fun. This is just something that we want to discuss between peers, between friends. No one will know except all of us here. Maybe you can let us know what could be the price of H bar. Maybe in the next few weeks. No, maybe or something along those lines.
You're trying to get me in trouble. I mean, I would definitely love for it to keep on the trajectory that it's been since the beginning of the year. I think it went up something like 80%. So it's been definitely the past few months have been good. I see. I'm actually going to turn it to the audience. I see that in the live, some people are saying $1. Okay, can I get more? $2, $5. $1 already, about 10x. So that's not bad.
All right, thank you, Sab. No, I think after this, we will cut some portions of so that we won't get in trouble. No, so but yeah, thank you so much, Sab. No, I think please do not for our audience, please do not leave yet. We have some more final words with our guests, but of course, our final trivia Q&A. Now we are going to begin it now. No, once again, thank you to PDAX for the H bars. No, do not worry again if you do not win on this segment. Of course, you can still win on the comment section, and of course, those who ask questions here on our webcast. All right. Thank you to PDAX again for the HBARS, of course, to Blink who was supporting this webcast since August last year, no. So yeah, maybe we can start na, no. Our third question: what exchanges in the Philippines have listed HBAR? Okay, what exchanges in the Philippines have listed HBAR? Okay, very easy, napakadali. Kung magkamali pa ng pag may nagkamali diyan na sagot, di naman nanalo ever. Okay, the joke lang. But of course, yeah, sige, anong exchanges sa Pilipinas? License exchange, again, have listed HBAR. All right. Okay. Pag mali dyan, ikikik daw. The joke lang. Okay. So yeah, what exchanges in the Philippines have listed HBAR? Ayan. Thank you so much for the answers, no. Our final question for the night: what is the name of our guest tonight apart from Paolo and Luis? Okay, what is the name of our guest tonight, our special guest tonight, joining us here at the BitPinas webcast, apart from Paolo and Luis? Correct spelling, all right. Okay, nickname, okay, but yeah, thank you so much, no, for joining us here in our webcast. What is the name of our guest tonight from the HBAR Foundation? All right. Sige, I'll just wait for the answers, no. Si Pen, Vincent, Arnel, Simone Valera, yeah, Aljon, Kerr Ignacio, thank you so much for participating in our webcast. So yeah, that's it for our trivia Q&A segment, and we are now closing this particular webcast with our Hedera AMA. Of course, with Luis of GCrypto, Luis Buenaventura of GCrypto, Paolo Narciso of PDAX, and our special guest Sabrina Tachdjian, the answer to the Q&A of the HBAR Foundation. Okay, I'm blocking out, no. So yeah, I guess some final words to you guys. We can start with Luis. I guess anything that you would like to add to our audience, maybe something that you can share, maybe a market outlook or something. And yeah, still say where can people find you, even though I think everyone here is following you already.
Well, I mean, you never know. There might be a few people. Yeah, so we're in a very interesting moment during this week. I think that there's at least Bitcoin and Ethereum that are very close to testing their all-time highs. I think that you need to be careful about, especially those of you who are playing around with perpetual futures. You have to be very careful with your positions. You have to make sure that you are not overextending yourself. I think last night was a good lesson for all of those people who were so bullish that they just did not care anymore what the price was doing. No? And I think quite a lot of people were liquidated over the last 12 hours. So I don't want that to happen to any of our listeners, of course. So I advocate for caution and alertness whenever we're at a moment like this. It's very easy to kind of get a little bit greedy. The other thing I always try to remind people of is very, very important. If you want to make good decisions to get a good night's sleep, I'm a big advocate for sleeping on time, which is kind of becoming a thing that I end a lot of live streams with right now. It's probably because it's always nighttime, right? And it's like I always think like, well, it's 9:30, so I guess that means I should be preparing for bed in about an hour. I think that there's nothing more important than your health, because of course that does have impact on your mental health. And getting a good night's sleep is one of the best ways to do that, to maintain that. Please follow me on Facebook. I'm Hello Luis. Past couple of days I've been posting a lot of spicy memes, but that's not usually what I do. I usually try to share educational content about crypto and about other things that have been very interesting to me recently, like electric cars and some other stuff. So please do follow me. Please do try out GCrypto on Gcash if you haven't already. And of course, our app would not have been possible if not for our friends at PDAX. And with that, I give it to Paolo.
All right, thank you so much, Luis. No, and then Paolo, congratulations on your HBAR campaign last week. No, and I think maybe any final words that you can say to our audience, any future partnerships with Hedera, and where can people find you, Pao?
Right. So what I'd really like to do is just I think the three of you here, the Hedera Foundation has been great to work with. The HBAR Foundation has been great to work with. GCrypto as well, and Gcash, and of course Mike and the whole BitPinas team. I mean, we've all been talking for a while now, and I think as our projects keep changing and evolving, and as new things come up, you guys have always been a great way to amplify messages. I the HBAR promotion in the last couple of weeks has been really great. We are thrilled to see that kind of energy coming into the space, and with the cycle being where it's at, I look forward to seeing what kind of other partnerships we can build over the next couple of years. Doors are open. We'll see what else. This is just the starting of our relationship with HBAR Foundation and Hedera. And yeah, I can't, future projects are always difficult to say. So I'm more a fan of like sharing it when things go live. So yeah, hopefully you'll be hearing more from me soon. So
All
yeah,
right,
cheers
thank
everybody.
you.
Thanks, and
Thank you,
also to
Paolo.
the BitPinas audience who have been here this whole time.
Yes, no, thank you, Paolo. No, and our audience, no, we have sustained our viewers no, until the end. No, Satan Grandeur is thanking us, Bitpinas, Mamsa, PDAX, GCrypto, and all the guests. Kevin Sonor, thank you, Sabrina, and to the guests. Informative learning, according to Arnel. Copymate, thank you so much sa mga guests natin. LFG, GCrypto, thank you, Bitpinas, PDAX, GCrypto, Features Labs. Yan, amazing AMA. Thank you, Sabrina. Sab, our special guest for tonight from the HBAR Foundation. Thank you for joining us here at BitPinas, the BitPinas community, together with Luis of GCrypto, together with Paolo of PDAX. I guess any final words that you would like to share to our audience, and where can people find you?
Yeah, thanks everyone for staying up late for this. Uh, do get in touch with the foundation. So our website is hbarfoundation.org. We also have a Twitter, HBAR Foundation. And yeah, do reach out, especially if you're builders, if you want to apply either for a grant or my email is sabrina@hbar.fund. I'm also easy to find on LinkedIn because like the convoluted last name. So yeah, like don't hesitate. Definitely happy to be in touch, and really want to thanks again the BitPinas community, PDAX and GCrypto for being really great partners so far.
All right. Thank you, Sabrina, no, for this very insightful AMA about Hedera, no, and I guess our audience, maybe you would love more of this particular AMAs in the future. Let us know in the comments, no. Thank you, Sab. Thank you, Pau of PDAX. Thank you, Luis of Gcash. I think to our audience, maybe we can thank them, our guests, in the comment section. Pasalamatan natin sila, no. Thank you to PDAX, our sponsor for tonight. To Beachers Labs, our sponsors for the webcast, the BitPinas staff, si Lance na wala today, but still thank you for joining us always, no? Si Nate and Sheila of the BitPinas writer team, and then my girlfriend Aya, hi for thank you for watching. And then yeah, this is Michael of BitPinas. Abangan nyo ang aming Facebook page. We will be sharing our survey form so that please answer that survey form so we can improve this webcast, no? So yeah, thank you for watching the BitPinas webcast. Magkita-kita tayo sa susunod na episode. Maraming salamat at magandang gabi sa lahat. Thank you.
Thank you. Night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.